The Heart is So Open by Melanie Barrett. So free, so vulnerable, so innocent, so effortlessly strong. It withstands everything, unquestionably. It feels everything. It's really okay when intense emotion arises. It's beautiful just to expand into and really feel every nuisance, every aspect of sadness, fear, hurt, anger, rage, pain, joy, excitement, all of it so delicious to feel deeply, without judgment, without separation, just pure, unfiltered feeling, no need to make sense of it. So curious that the human will relish joy and peace, but has resistance to sadness, pain, anger. You know, all that we have been taught is lower and unpalatable. So judgmental of emotions is the human, and sometimes, most times, the human has cut itself off so much from feeling so-called negative emotion, it doesn't even know it's there. It has crafted unique subconscious ways and cultivated storylines to avoid it. We needed that protection as children, but when it's time, we begin to let all of that subconscious conditioned protection go. We start to really look at our motivations consciously for everything we do, looking consciously at the conceptual walls we have built to stay safe from that depth of feeling. Many humans are walking this earth so disconnected from their true feelings, living in their heads, cut off entirely from what the heart actually feels, and aren't even conscious that they are emotionally detached. The heart doesn't avoid or distract itself in meditations, mantras, and addictions. It can't. Only the mind needs those, and it's beautiful. The heart simply feels effortlessly, unconditionally. It doesn't need to know who did what, to who, or what anything means. It just feels intensely. It always has. And if its emotions are not consciously felt so that they can be processed and released, they just get stored up and create havoc in the psyche, the results of which show up in our relationships. There's nothing wrong with any feeling. How can a feeling be wrong? How can the heart be wrong? It is, and it's only showing up to be fully loved by you, not just the good ones, not just the socially acceptable ones, every feeling, the dark and the light. The heart naturally feels every emotion on the spectrum without discernment, separation, or judgment. It doesn't decide what can come in and what can't. The heart is unconditional love and unconditional acceptance of every wanted and unwanted thought, feeling, emotion, image, and sensation. It's really okay to hurt. Anything that arises is okay. Really, the heart can handle it. Understanding may arise naturally about the hurt or anger or sadness, but it's not necessary. Note, this is not an excuse to accept abuse from another person in any way, shape, or form. I'm talking about accepting your own feelings, no others' dodgy behavior. A barricade of understanding, attribution, of shame or blame, a monologue or dialogue is not required about emotions. Mind will always try to navigate, negotiate, or ruminate mentally about feelings in order to circumvent possible further assaults to the heart. This is what the human conditioned mind does. It has to protect its sense of self. It blocks feelings any way it can, through activity, meditation, habits, addictions, future planning, future goal setting, etc. And there's nothing wrong with anything. Of course, there isn't. It is what is arising. You see, the heart cannot be afflicted, assaulted, or even affected. It really can't. But it still feels every emotion deeply, all the time. It is only the separate sense of self that can be hurt. It was cultivated in childhood to protect us from feelings that we were too little to process. When we were children, we wouldn't remove ourselves from situation when the heart urged us to move. So our little human forms developed protective coping mechanism. We became like the perpetrators of our pain. That way we avoided being ousted from the tribe, which could have meant death of the physical body. When we were little, we relied on the caregivers for safety, and the patterns continue on. We perpetuate the same conditioned patterns with our children. We hurt them with the same conditioning as we have been hurt, and we don't even realize until we do. By adulthood, often we have acquired the amazing ability to emotionally detach from or avoid anything that triggers emotions. Again, it is an intelligent coping mechanism of the psyche, but true liberation occurs when the unconscious coping mechanisms begin to become conscious. This is shadow work, exploring deeply what you were never able to explore and integrate when you were little. Liberation isn't feeling peaceful all the time. It isn't a permanent blissful state above the human reality. It is full, authentic being, fully feeling everything, without filters, without safety or protection, completely vulnerable, naked to our hearts, the heart of being alive. The heart cannot be hurt or touched. It feels everything deeply, though effortlessly, both the seen and the unseen, motivations of humans, everything, and it cannot lie. It simply is. The human can lie, but only to itself, because it thinks it is separate. The heart is already liberated. It is liberation, it is freedom, it is connected to everything, it is everything. An individual will never have or know freedom. A human cannot have the heart or know the heart. It is unknowable. It is itself. My whole life, the heart has felt everything, so deeply, so intense, both seen and unseen, conscious and unconscious in myself and others, as does every heart. but I was never able to cultivate a separate self. So I've never been deluded into a false sense of safety by a mind. This heart has always been open, free, and completely vulnerable. This lifetime for me has been always fully feeling every person's deep inner world as if it is mine, even if they can't, because it is mine. There is no separation. I had no choice. It has been an excruciatingly painful and amazingly beautiful journey. You see, the heart that is mine is also yours. There is only one. Initially, it may take courage to feel it and communicate freely and deeply with everything it feels, whether that's deep pain, deep grief, deep shame, deep sadness, anger, resentment, bitterness, joy, passion, whatever. It asks you can it asks us, can you just really feel everything now without avoiding, without running, without hiding, without detaching? It's all okay. It is. The heart is wisdom. The heart is pure intelligence. The heart is the creative source. It knows everything without holding knowledge. It never lies. Let it envelop you and guide you in its truth, until the heart is all that remains. This is unconditional love. If it feels to use your form to rage, it will. If it feels to use your form to cry it will. If it feels to use your form for insight, that insight will be received and may be shared. If it feels to caress another in the arms of your human form, it will. If it feels to remove your form from a situation, it will. God's will. The heart is the pure, infinite intelligence of the entire universe. Trust it. It is, without doubt. The mind keeps you safe and protected from life, from others, but the heart is safely and protection and other. The heart doesn't need safety. The heart doesn't need to be fearless. It is fearlessness. Because it is fearlessness, it feels everything fearlessly, including fear. It cannot protect itself. It doesn't need to. It is everything.